You are listening to Season 2 of The Diary of a Wannabe Writer, the short and often daily podcast in which I chronicle my life and attempt to be a writer by writing daily. Sometimes. Hello, today is Sunday the 16th of February 2025. You're listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer, and I've recorded this at a really weird time. So it's where I am in Singapore, it's 9:30 in the morning. The reason I'm recording it now is because I have a few more things to do. I'm not going to bed yet, but I have a flight later overnight to take me to Sydney. And I've actually done some writing today already. It is 1:30 in the morning UK time. So what I will actually do is put this out on a timed release rather than release it as soon as I finish recording it like I normally do. I will probably stick it on a timer to come out at about 10 o'clock UK time. But yeah, so what have I done so far today? Well, yesterday I got bits and pieces done. As I said, I went for my walk. Today, I've still not totally adjusted to the time zone I'm in, so I woke up quite early. And there's a quite nice little 24-hour cafe called the Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf. And I think it might be an American chain. I've definitely seen them in America, but there's quite a few here in Singapore as well. I've seen more in Singapore than I have in the States. Anyway, they're 24 hours. So I decided at about 6 o'clock local time in the morning to get up and go out and have some breakfast. I did have decaffeinated coffee because I do plan... Actually, no, I didn't because they didn't have decaffeinated coffee. So I had this lovely ginseng and peppermint tea. If they'd actually had it on sale to buy as a customer, I would have bought some. It was really, really pleasant. So yeah, I had a sort of Singaporean type breakfast with this lovely ginseng and mint tea. And wrote a little bit more of chapter 41. Chapters 41 and 42 are replacing what would have been the epilogue, but I did feel the epilogue was rushing through the story too quickly. So what I decided to... So basically, chapter 42 is going to have the same scenes in it that the epilogue would have done, and as such I have written a little bit of that already. But I kind of felt it was short-changing the audience, I've already said this before, sorry, not to show the new world that our characters are in. And so I've used this chapter to show Ronnie being woken up from her hibernation, meeting up with Adrian, telling him that she's pregnant, finding out that Gordon Oakley didn't actually survive, finding out that Marianne is in a bad way, finding out that Adrian is now older than her because when they went into hibernation, she was 2 months older than him. But because he was brought out of hibernation 5 months earlier than her, he's now technically 3 months older than her, which he absolutely adores. And she's a little bit, yeah, so what? And it's nice because it actually set up a little mystery. In the final scene is between Ursula and Carruthers, the two very old. I mean, Ursula, I actually established when she was born, and she's over 400 years old, and Carruthers is about 370. But it's kind of establishing that something's going on with Ursula, that she's not going to be around for much longer, and and Carruthers is saying, oh, you don't have to go, and she's going, I've been around since I've been around for 54 prime ministers and 15 monarchs. I've lived a good life. I've achieved everything that I was supposed to achieve, and I'm quite tired now. And you'll feel the same in 50 years' time, probably. And Carruthers is like, no, I tend to live forever. Actually, Pete Carruthers in my head is played by Peter Capaldi. That was not a very good accent, but yeah. Anyway, so it's just setting up something for the final chapter. And I wrote, and so I finished basically chapter 41 today. It's done everything it needs to. It's also established that Marianne's mental health is not in a great place, but hopefully the return of Ronnie into her life will help them recover. It was just, I really enjoy. I quite like writing the emotional stuff, and weirdly, I like is the wrong word, but characters that are really in a bad place mentally, I find really, really easy to write for. I find it really easy to describe their emotions and their feelings, and I quite enjoy it as well. As I said before, it's cathartic. That's why I wrote the English Hikikomori. And it's going to be quite nice because Marianne in the final chapter is actually going to find a reason to continue to live in this new world where they're not entirely accepted. They're just known as that weird oddball who runs the bakery. And I thought that was a nice touch because Marianne's obviously been shown to be a bit of as well as a handyman, they're a baker. They just basically there's nothing they can't do well. They're one of those annoying people who just put their hands to anything and are brilliant at it. So that's done. So my plan now is, it's about 9:30 in the morning here in Singapore. My alarm call to give me an hour's notice for pick up for the flight is in about 7 hours' time. And my plan now is I'm going to do I might read through the chapter again and start doing like a soft screen edit on it. What I'm really hoping, because Sydney is lovely, but we're so tired and we don't get a lot of time down there. So I'm not going to be doing any major expeditions, although I might continue my botanical garden theme and go to the Sydney Botanical Gardens and see if I can get any photographs. But there's not as much interesting wildlife there as there is in the Singapore one. But yeah, I really, really want to get this chapter signed off well before I get home and have started writing the final chapter, chapter 42, because that has me precisely on track to finish the book as planned by the end of this month. As I say, I wrote the scenes today, and I wrote that last little moment where Ursula explains to Carruthers that, she hasn't got very long left. And again, I felt quite emotional. I really have enjoyed writing these characters. They absolutely feel like real people to me. And something a friend of mine, the writer T.G. Campbell, said, maybe one of the reasons I was procrastinating a bit, which I don't seem to be doing now, but at one point I really was because I wasn't looking forward to not writing for them. And I think that's true. I love these guys, and I'm quite looking forward to writing the epilogue, because although there's some sad moments, it's going to end on a happy moment, which, I know I'm ill, something's wrong with me. I did have lots of different ideas about how it could end, but I have decided, given that I've killed off lots and lots of people and, had a lot of trauma for everybody, it'd be quite nice if something vaguely pleasant happens at the end. So yes, that's my plan for today. You will hear from me tomorrow from Sydney. The timings of that are going to be really weird because they're 11 hours ahead. So if I record something at lunchtime, it'll come out and release it immediately. It'll be out at midnight again. So I'll probably do the same there. I'll record it at some point during that day and then stick it on a timer to release. Anyway, that's me from Singapore. I'll talk to you tomorrow from Sydney. Thank you for listening. Take care. Bye-bye. You have been listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer. For more information about what I'm writing, go to linktr.ee/Richard Writes, capital R, capital W, where you can find details of my website and social media. I may see you there.